Welcome back, episode number 18 of TNA Wrestling Impact Wrestling. We're live with Total Non-Stop. These are results from Pino. These results from Impact Wrestling being held by Total Non-Stop Action, which are what we'll be called. And this is now the pinnacle of our entire 18 episodes. I have been building this company up over 18 episodes to bring you the best wrestling we possibly can give you, and we are now heading into the end of that sort of season. The season finale is just around the corner, which is Bound for Glory, and everything rides on Bound for Glory, and I hope to God that Bound for Glory works. I don't think I've actually sorted out people's gimmicks properly. Because I now got AJ. But yeah, so we cut straight to the venue, and Immortal in the ring to kick off the show tonight. I was going, boo. And we see there's no Jimmy Hart. That'll be addressed by Mr. Hogan. Okay, TNA buried alive, a AJ versus the best. You think AJ's going to lose the title to that fortune loser? No. Look, TNA, you got rid of Jimmy. Why? Because he argued with the anonymous owner on the phone. Now, Rob will beat The Rock. You think any of the matches that involves us is going to come out immortal are going to win and keep this? Involve us is going to come out. Immortal are going to win and keep this title, and he is coming. The biggest force in pro wrestling, a monster that Glenn and Abyss could not stand up to. Glenn and this man will make him more than the most feared group in all of pro wrestling. You see, we've been gone banned, but we still made an impact 2 weeks ago. But tonight we are here, and the main event, Mafia. See you in the main event, brother. AJ Styles has a gimmick that's getting stale, so we'll sort that out, but that's a nice 83 opener. In about details, crowd with Tail Wrestling, Jimmy Havoc defeated Roderick Strong in 5:34 by pinfall. That is making Jimmy Havoc the final and sixth participant in the six-way Ultimate X match. What will be happening, and possibly it's either going to be the women's match or this match, which open up the Bound for Glory show. And very much like Ric Flair was in real life, I am riding everything on this. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So I am literally riding everything on this show. If this show fails, I have failed. In that match, you're going to have Kazarian, you're going to have... Paul Lloyd, right, let's do it from the backwards. So you can have your reigning defending champion Paul Lloyd Jr. You're going to have Kazarian in that match as well, followed by Jimmy Havoc, followed by Kota Ibushi. There he is. I've got to type these out right. Then you've got Austin Aries, who won as well. I hate it when it jumps down like that. It's like, no, I want Austin Aries, thank you. And then, of course, we've already got Kazarian, and that will be the other fellow Brit, the Phenomenal Pack. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Ultimate X match has been now set in stone 2 weeks before, and it's a big one. You've got some great names in there. 2 British, two Americans, South African, and a Japanese wrestler. And I guess a nice 44. I'm very proud of these two. Well done. And Jimmy we know that they're not here, in the sense of Jimmy Havoc's not meant to be wrestling, but he's been asked to wrestle here tonight. But you'll see a clip of them, what they pre-taped from their compound in the UK. But he was the only person from that appearing tonight who was going to appear I was meant to do that match at the one not only in Australia, and I've got to put it on the show. In this match, the Hardys defeat American Wolves when Jeff Hardy pinned Eddie Edwards with a poetry motion. Jeff Hardy 70, Matt Hardy 70, Eddie Edwards 46, and Dave Richards 45. That gets a nice 64. And then JB's like, now we know the 6 men that will go into the Ultimate X and Bound for Glory. And joining me now, the champion. And Will's like, look, we've got 5 of the best going into this signature match for TNA. But look, I'm the champion, and that makes me the best. I don't care. So what if I've got to scale some ropes and retrieve this above the ring? I will. You see, I worked too hard to get in this position, and now I'm here. I'm not going to lose it that quick. And I guess a nice 44. Not bad, actually. And then we don't see the invasion in the locker room. It's some run-down boxing gym. And now, this was pre-taped prior to Impact, and that match was pre-taped at Australia. So Jimmy Havoc's not on the show, as I said. It was pre-taped down at Impact Wrestling 1 Nightly down down under, so it wasn't in the front of this crowd. He was not on this show. And for some reason, Paul Lloyd Jr.'s in Blackpool. That's meant to be Paul Robinson. I forgot to check that. I stand here in my Blackpool gym training. We said we would not be on Impact. We are getting ready for a fight. Now, Sid Parker, you put up a good fight, but Mikey was prepared. You see, behind me, we are training super hard, and join us next week. I'll show you some more of our training for Bound for Glory, because no way in hell will the challengers win this gold off the British Invasion. And you see the British Invasion are running in the ropes, and they're doing all sorts of stuff behind them in this, mucked up forecourt, wrestling ring, and you see some of, some random independent guys who don't appear in the game database, training, helping them train. And then in a bout of good heat and decent wrestling, Crimson defeated Mick Foley in 7:43 by pinfall. Crimson 55, Mick Foley 52. You've now got Afai Jr., Crimson, and Gunner, all a part of the James Mitchell stable, the New Church. And that'll be coming a thing after. Now, this gets an 80B, which does better than I thought it would. So we see Fortune in the backstage area, and I was like, we heard the rumbles. And about for glory, we will win. You can bring any men you want, and we will top that. And we have topped. Do you think your guy is going to rip apart the business? He is not. Now, Bound for Glory, the monster will beat AJ in a buried live match, and AJ will be gone because we are taking you down. Rock will win, David will win, and so will Beer Money. Why? Because we are the best. And there's a nice 80B. Beautiful. In a decent match, Rhino defeated Rich Swann in 7:38 by Pimple the Gore. Rhino 59, Rich Swann 53, and I guess a nice 60. In about these match crowd, Subpar Wrestling, Barbie Blank defeated Madison Rain in 8:02 by Pimple the Leaping Elite Leg Drop Bulldog. Madison Rain 49, Madison 40, and Barbie Blank 49 actually. I guess a nice 50. These two have good chemistry showed in their performance, which is good. And after the match, Barbie gets up, and then Natty's music hits, and she comes to the ring. She's holding the title, of course, and she's like, "Well done, you got to win, but in 2 weeks of Bound for Glory, I'll win the 30-minute. I'll win 30 minutes in this ring. You cannot do it like I can. I'm going to keep the knockouts time and be the champion for a long time." You see, all these women on this roster are not wrestlers; they are eye candy. I'm the only wrestler on this roster. And when this Barbie just hits Natty and it's a brawl between the two, between them, and the security come out and to the ring, splitting them up. But they just keep trying to get at each other as we head to commercial break. And we come back, and in a decent match, Sting defeat Daniels in 8:16 by the reverse DDT. Sting 54, Daniels 49. He gets a nice 55. In a decent match, Christico defeated Orlando Jordan 8:17 by pinfall. Christico 69, Orlando Jordan 47. He gets a nice 66. And then JB's backstage, and he's like, "So I'm now joined by Paul Heyman and the Heyman guys," and he gets a 74. Main event Mafia, come Bound for Glory, you will lose when you each face a member of the Heyman guys. You see, I came to TNA with Brock, but I have grown, and now I am unstoppable. And right now on Impact, we send a message when we beat Fortune. And we're going to that match. And in about fantasy and great wrestling, Fortune, Abyss, The Rock and Dave Batista, Miss Anderson, Monty Brown, Brock Lesnar, and 8:24, and Abyss pinned Monty Brown with a black hole slam after distraction from Christian Cage. So during all of this, Christian Cage, all of them come out. Cage comes out, the entirety of the main event Mafia come out and just stand on the stage, and it distracts the Paul Heyman guys to the point where they actually lose the match because of it. And that got a nice 82. That's not bad, actual. And then our main event of the night is the main event Mafia taking on Christian Cage and Mike Mizanin versus Styles, Glenn Jacobs, and RVD. Gets an 80. In about fantasy and great wrestling, Immortal, AJ Styles, Robin and Glenn Jacobs defeated the main event Mafia, Christian Cage, Mike Mizanin, and Kurt Angle in 21:49, and AJ Styles pinned Christian Cage with a Styles clash after distraction from Monty Brown. And basically, they do the same. During the main event Mafia's match, they come out and just stand on the ramp. They don't lay hands on each other because they can't. They just stand on the match, and it distracts the main event Mafia to the point where Immortal get the win. Kurt Angle 87, Mike Mizanin 69, Christian Cage 73, Glenn Jacobs 59, ouch, Rob Van Dam 81, and AJ Styles 87. He got an 80B. And then the closing angle after their match, Immortal celebrate when Fortune hit the ring and beat them down on the screen behind them. They're not on camera because they're backstage. We see that Beer Money have tied up the Hardys and they're really pissed. And Abyss brings in a shovel with dirt on it and he just covers AJ's body in it to symbolise that AJ's going to lose the match. And that's where we finish this Impact. Next week's the Go Home shows. It gets a nice 79, increased our popularity in 24 regions. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go away and book Explosion and expect some more big angles to happen on the next 2 weeks of Explosion as well as Impact because Bound for Glory. It's just around the corner. As I said, the Explosion is going to get hotter as well as Impact over the next few weeks. And it starts off on tonight's Explosion. We only got 6,959 people tonight, which is bad. We get a recap of Impact. And we got to the venue before Pyro goes off on the main then the main event at Mafia come out. And as I look around, TNA, it's gang warfare everywhere you look, and this is no different. Now we got what we deserved this past week on Impact after what we did to the Heyman guys in their match. A Bound for Glory in 8 days' time. We'll win the main event. Mafia will win. We will win. The main event. Mafia will win. We will be the survivors of that match. And Heyman hit music hits and they come out to the ring together. And Heyman Paul's like, look guys, we can't touch. But I heard you say you're going to win. Don't make me laugh. You might be the main event Mafia, but you should be the main event losers. You see, Bound for Glory, the biggest night of the year for TNA, will make a impact when we win and kick your ass. And I was like, we'll see in 8 days, won't we? And I guess a nice 77. In a short match, Team 3D defeat Crime Time in 521 when Shad was eliminated first and Brother Ray and finally Jason Paul. Jason Paul 50, Shad 49, Brother Devon 67, Brother Ray 75. I don't know why a tables match, whenever we do a tag team table match, it's always elimination. It pees me off. I'm going to have to make my own. In about a great hitting good wrestling, Samoa Joe defeated Matt Hardy in 704 by pinfall the Muscle Buster. Samoa Joe got an 85, Matt Hardy got a 66, I got a nice 75. And then we only got 67 for this angle, which is stupid. And no, because let me tell you something, Abyss and Fortune. If you think God's green earth, the scenes at the end of Impact are going to be the scenes at the end of Bound for Glory, we got something wrong in your head, brother. Rock Abyss, David and Beer Money are going to lose. Immortal are going to be the biggest name in TNA wrestling. We come out on Impact the night after as AJ Styles as our world champion. And AJ gives the belt to Hogan and he just puts the old belt in the trash and gives AJ a new belt with the Immortal instead of TNA across the top. You see, brother, AJ's the biggest name in TNA, and now the TNA World title is history, brother. This is now the Immortal belt. Now, by law, it is not the Immortal belt. Immortal can call it the Immortal Championship, the Immortal belt, the Immortal World title, whatever they want to call it. But to the eyes of TNA, it's the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And AJ, you have become a massive asshole. 67, not bad at all. To be quite honest, he's become a massive asshole. They got a nice 67. In above a great hitting good wrestling, Christico defeated Glenn Jacobs and 740 by a pinfall following interference on Dave Bautista. Glenn got 58, Christico got 72, got a nice 69. Your main event of the night is the biggest asshole, AJ Styles, taking on Kurt Angle, as been named by Jim Ross. In an exceptional match, AJ Styles defeated Kurt Angle in 23 minutes 43 by him the springboard 450 splash. AJ got a 79, Kurt Angle got an 87, I got a 79. And after the match, AJ Styles celebrating his victory in the ring when Abyss comes out with the shovel, hits AJ Styles in the chest with the shovel and then covers him in even more dirt than last time. And that's where we finish Explosion with 76, increased our popularity in 8 regions. I want to thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys again real soon. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are live. It is the go-home episode of Impact, and expect the big explosions to happen. And we open up with a recap of Explosion and Impact, and then we get the opening package before Pyro goes off on the stage with the Pyro. Then Immortal comes to the ring. Oh, I've ballsed up then. It is electric here tonight. We're only 6 days away from the biggest night, and you heard it here. We got one over on GWF after New Japan, AAA, CZW, and Shimmer left the Global Force Wrestling and joined the TNA family. This coming Sunday Night Live, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Hiroshi Tanahashi live at Bound for Glory. Look, this show is huge, and that night will go down in history as the night the Monster Abyss won his second world title and AJ was buried alive. Believe me, TNA Wrestling is coming. And Fortune is for the glory. And we are going to have another Fortune promo tonight because I ballsed up. But we'll hear from the other guys in... Because I kind of began booking this yesterday and then I went to bed last night and I kind of forgot to check what I'd booked and just got straight into it this morning. But you heard it here, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Shinsuke Nakamura. So I've gone in, I've made the TNA family, and then I've edited the Global Force Wrestling and brought these groups in because I want this rivalry to come out as, seeming like, oh, well, we don't want to be a part of you. And in that group will be the TNA family will have a Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. They'll have an Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Championship. There's going to be a couple of other bouts introduced as well into that stable, which will appear on certain episodes of Impact and certain episodes of on certain pay-per-views and one night news and stuff, especially in Japan. In a decent match, scenarios, Jimmy Havoc and Paul Lloyd Jr. defeated Kazarian, Kota Ibushi and Pac in 6:03 when Paul Lloyd Jr. pinned Kazarian with a 450 splash. Paul Lloyd Jr. 48, Jimmy Havoc 42, scenarios 52, Pac 56, Kota Ibushi 53, and Kazarian 54. And if you know this, all 6 of these guys are going to be opponents this coming Sunday night at Bound for Glory in the Ultimate X. So we see the rundown boxing gym again, and more locals are training with the guys, and Regal's like, no, Jimmy. Here, why? Because they wanted him on Impact, which is bollocks. Now he knows his opponent's better for this Sunday night. Now TNA Wrestling Family are going to introduce some titles that can be defended in the family on CZW, Shimmer, CML, New Japan, and AAU. One of the bouts will be the Global X Division, or the Impact Global X Division. Now, I'm going to make a promise. No matter what comes in from New Japan, anyone from any company will fail. Paul will win. Now, look around. TNA Wrestling, Sunday Night Live on pay-per-view, will win. The British Invasion will rule TNA when we become Global and X Division champions. And we'll find out more about that because Steven Regal will be in action on that show against a major star from CMML for the Impact Global Championships. We're going to have, this. Oh, turn and gimmick. Continue on just this. No. Change gimmick. And actually, out of all of these, Magnus is actually higher up than Steven Regal. He is the megastar in this group, so that's good. 54. In a terrible match, Juice von Liger defeated Sid Parker in 6:02 by from the Liger Bomb. Sid Parker 26, Juice von Liger 45. Before we send him down to CZW, thought I'd give him a nice little match on here to see how well he's done. So yeah, 26, he might stick around. I like Sid Parker. In about a decent match, crowd from the Subfire Wrestling, Natalie Indiana comes to the ring and calls out a challenger for tonight to defend her Knockouts Championship again, and she gets Jamie Jamson, and she beats her by a pin for the German suplex. Natty makes defense number 3 of her TNA Knockouts title. Natty 67 and Jamie Johnson 22. Because of the TNA family, Brock Lesnar is not here tonight. He has been signed by New Japan Pro Wrestling for one night only deal. Hence why we've touched Shinsuke and Hiroshi Tanahashi, because he's in a big storyline and he's not on Impact because he's over in Japan. So yay. So after the match, Natty kicks Johnson out of the ring, and then out comes Barbie. Out comes Barbie. She's got a steel chair with her, and she just attacks Natty with this. The fans are going crazy, and Barbie just grabs the mic and goes, "Look, this Sunday night, Miss Natty, I'm going to kill you. I've got 30 minutes with you, and I'm going to love every second of it." 63. We're going to the big pay-per-view of the year, so I've got to make this big. And JB's backstage. She's like, the energy going through TNA right now is huge. And joining me this time, the main event, Mafia. And he goes, look around, TNA Wrestling is on fire. And right now, we've got our minds on the Heyman guys. Now look around, we're ready for war. And the biggest night and the biggest Bound for Glory in the history, not only is it make or break for TNA, but it's also make or break for main event Mafia. Now tonight, AJ, Glenn and Rob face us again. And we're ready for the fact Paul might be involved, but I hope they're happy because tonight's main event, they face fortune in a handicap match. Because Brock Lesnar is in Japan. The idiot is not here. This Sunday is the biggest night in TNA history, and we are ready for the war. Gets a nice 68. In a poor match, Generation Me defeated Lethal Consequences in 7:36 and Jeremy Buck pinned Consequence of Keyed with more bang for your buck. I need to sort Jeremy Buck out. Oh, my phone's still plugged into the cabling. For anyone who's interested in how I take notes or remember who needs gimmicks and stuff, I don't have a pen and paper like most people. I have a mobile phone. Quite literally. And everything that you see come up, I quickly type out on my phone as the best I can so that I will be changing their names eventually to the Young Bucks instead of Generation Me, but we'll get into all that. That's a nice 53. In a superb match, Christico defeated Samoa Joe in 8:07 by pinfall. Samoa Joe 75, Christico got a 78, and I got a nice 73. And there'll be more into Joe's eventual thing what's going to happen next Monday night. I've got plans for Joe. And we see James Mitchell backstage with Crimson, Gunner and Afro Jr. And James is like, look around. 2002 had a group of men. They forced a fight of the monsters. A force to fight off the monsters. And now I am back, and so is my new church. New men, more powerful than ever. And the TNA family stealing companies from Global Force is huge. But I'm going to tell you now, tonight we will win. Mark my words. And we're going to home it in a bit more. You know, we're really pissed off at Jeff quitting the company at this point. You know, we're really annoyed that he tried to steal New Japan and stuff from the TNA family. But New Japan came along and went, nah, we're going to leave the Global Force now the TNA family's been set up. And we're going to work with TNA. And in a terrible match, I knew it would be terrible, the Disciples of New Church, Afro Jr., Crimson and Gunner defeat C.W. Anderson, John Skyler and Kevin Morstan in 4:37 when Gunner pinned Kevin Morstan over False Nelson Slam after James Mitchell and third. These guys were one here on the one at Dover. So we got 20, a 33 and a 27. Then we got 45, 43 and a 42. So not too bad. He only got 25. It was a short match. It was a squash match. In above at Decent Wrestling, Good Heat and Decent Wrestling Sting defeat Jeff Hardy in 7:43 by pin the reverse DDT following defense on James Storm. Jeff Hardy 68, Sting 57. Got a nice 67. Why ain't Paul Heyman on screen? We have another bit much of my team with fiance maybe before going to the shops. I am standing with the Heyman guys without Brock Lesnar. And Paul's like, so the TNA family nick Brock Lesnar, and then I get told our match is handicapped. That's fine, because we'll win. You see, Brock might not be here tonight, but my God, this Sunday night we'll kick main events, Mafia's ass. Look, no matter what TNA throw at me, I'm going to kick ass and prove immortal. Unfortunately, or any other group in TNA and nothing. I've got nothing on the Heyman guys. See you Sunday. Main event. I guess a nice 68, not the best promo. But in about fantastic and great wrestling, and mortal AJ Styles, Robert Nunn and Glenn Jacobs defeated main event Mafia, Christian Cage, Mike Mizanin and Kurt Angle. In A24, when AJ Styles pinned Mike Mizanin with a Styles clash after distraction from Mr. Anderson. And also during the match we had Paul Heyman come out with him and distract Kurt Angle and Christian Cage. So they all got distracted and that's how they lost the match. Typical, like what happened last week. Kurt Angle 87, Mike Mizanin 67, Christian Cage 68, Glenn Jacobs 59, RVD 83, and AJ Styles 86, 81B. And then we see Fortune backstage again, which should have really been... Don't know why James Mitchell's on screen. In the Sunday night, we've got a war, and it's going to be us kicking ass and winning all over the show. You see, TNA Wrestling's on fire. Tonight we've got a handicap match, but we are ready for the fireworks on Sunday night. You see, AJ, Abyss is going to bury you alive. Rock is going to rock bomb you to hell, Glenn, and Glenn, you're going to get speared into next year. And Hardy's where you get the picture. You see, we'll be on top, and we'll be going into next week's show with Abyss as a TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Yes, nice 67. And in about fantastic and great wrestling, Fortune, Abyss, The Rock, and Dave Batista defeated Mr. Anderson and Monty Brown in 22:11. Abyss pinned Mr. Anderson with a torture wrap backbreaker after distraction from Mike Mizanin. Monty Brown 61, Mr. Anderson 62, Dave Batista 83, Rock 92. Abyss got a beautiful 77. I got an 83. I'll see what's going on over there in a second. Next angle. So after the match, AJ, Rob and Glenn come out and a massive brawl begins. He's got weapons and chairs. The lot AJ and Abyss have been busted open. The Rock bottoms Rob Van Dam off the stage and through some tables closed. Impact with a bang. And 24 hours prior to the pay-per-view, TNA Wrestling have announced 24 hours before these two teams go to war against each other on the pay-per-view. It will be on Explosion this week. It'll be AJ Styles. It'll be Rob Van Dam. It'll be Glenn Jacobs taking on Abyss, The Rock, and David Batista. That is going to be the main event on Explosion this week. 24 hours before these two go to war. Oh, I've modified the booking. Why is Rob Terry in there? That ain't going to flipping work, is it? Let's modify that so we get the right Rob. Oop, there we go. So that'll be taped after the show. So that'll be taped after this Impact. But that kind of goes out. And that's where we finish the show with an 80B angle, giving us a 79 overall. And we've got that huge match happening on Explosion. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to tape Explosion tonight. But literally, we're on the cusp of Bound for Glory, and I am so excited. Welcome to Explosion. 24 hours. Taped on Monday night in front of 8,722p, which I do believe sold out. 24 hours. This will be going out on Sci-Fi. It's pre-taped. We'll be going out on Sci-Fi 24 hours before Bound for Glory. So we get a recap of the ending of Impact, then opening package, then we cut to the venue. Priory goes off on the stage, and then Mike's like, welcome to Explosion. Tonight, 24 hours before Bound for Glory. Mortal and Fortune go to war in the main event. And so it's like, look, at this show, it's going to be hard to contain all the excitement for tomorrow night. On this show, there's going to be fireworks. And Rod's like, as GM of Explosion, I could not resist putting the main event on. But first, Team Barbie versus Team Natty. And we kick off the night in a battle at DC crowd with Subpar Wrestling, Barbie Blank, Brianna Gracie, Nicole Gracie, and Gail Kim defeat Natalie Dean, Velvet Sky, Angeline Love, and Madison Rain in 6:14 when Barbie Blank pinned Velvet Sky with a leg drop bulldog. Gail Kim 62, Nicole Gracie 43, Brianna Gracie 46, Barbie Blank 48, Madison Rain 38, Angeline Love 33, Velvet Sky 33, and Natalie Dean 70. Gets a nice 56. Bit of hype before the main event. In the battle of DC National Crowd, Subpar and her disciples of the New Church, Afario and Jr., Crimson and Gunner defeat Rich Swann and King in 7:44, and Afario Jr. pinned Jesse Neal with a frog splash. Rich Swann 50, Shannon Moore 52, Jesse Neal 29, Gunner 47, Crimson 46, and Afario Jr. 44. That's a nice 49. For some reason, none of them are on the screen, which is a bit weird. So we see Immortal backstage, and Hogan's not happy. And Hogan's like, "No, how can you, Roddy? This is bullshit. First head and now Roddy. It's like TNA bringing all my old enemies out and to try and take down Immortal. Look, the Immortal Champion is here to stay, and Abyss will not win tomorrow night in the main event. None of this stupid fortune crap is going to win. We will win and sod this TNA family crap and their title. They're not real titles. This is the real title. TNA, you can do all the crap you want. AJ is the true champion and will be after Bound for Glory tomorrow night." Gets a beautiful 67. In a good match, Christico defeated Jeff Hardy in 8:02 by pinfall. Christico 74, Jeff Hardy 61. Gets a nice 72. And in your main event of the night, AJ Styles, Rowan and Glenn Jacobs take on The Rock, Abyss, and David Batista. In an exceptional match, Immortal drew with Fortune in 25:07 following a double countout. AJ Styles 84, Rowan 80, Glenn Jacobs 58, David Batista 91, Rock 93, and Abyss 78. And then after the match, basically they just keep on fighting with each other. So The Rock keeps beating up Rob, AJ, and Abyss going at it. Glenn, David are going back, and it just continues until the security come out, split them up, and a couple of them continue fighting into the back to close out Explosion. I guess a nice 75 in crucial variety in 6 regions. I cannot complain with that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you on Sunday for the biggest and the longest pay-per-view in TNA wrestling history. It is going to be Bound for Glory. Because the game is awkward with where its button placement is, I've accidentally started the show twice. So you've missed Motion Machine Guns, American Wolves versus Motion Machine Guns versus Generation Me, and you've also missed a 10-man tag between the women on the pre-show. But yeah, let's continue the pre-show. In the pre-show, our detail wrestling from the crowd, but Subpar Wrestling, the Kings of Wrestling, the Briscoes defeating King and Lee for Consequence in 8:13, when Chris Hero pinned Consequence Creed with a Hero's Welcome Championship Edition. From now on, I'm going to make sure that the main show is an hour over until I've booked the pre-show, so I don't accidentally click that button to make the show start. I think that's the only way we're going to deal with this. Consequence Creed 44, JD 451, Shadow Moore 58, Jesse Neal 30. Mark Briscoe 45, Jay Briscoe 46, Claudio Cassis 48, and Chris Hero 54. As you can see, we have 31,000 people at the University at Buffalo Stadium here tonight to see Bound for Glory. I'm so happy with that. In a decent pre-show match, ACH, Angel De Oreo, Eric Young and Bull Jones defeat Daniels, Kevin Steen, Rhino and Sid Parker in 5:38 ring gun pin Sid Parker with a pile driver. Bull James and ACH work for CZW on the developmental contract, so they will appear tonight to get a taste of TNA wrestling on the pre-show. And Angel De Oreo is from AAA. He's on loan from AAA, part of the TNA family, which has grown because we've now stolen even more people from Global Force Wrestling. It's quite a big state group now. Bull James 37, 8 Young 45, Angel De Oreo, 74, ACH 51, Sid Parker 30, Rhino 69. Kevin Steen 45 and Daniels 47. He's shone in this match. He's amazing. Oh, I'm going to see if he's on a handshake deal. He must be. Now he's worked in America. I'm going to see if we can sign him to a contract to come in as a heel and feud with Christico. That might be a good little feud. And we can put that on Explosion. In a poor prediction match, Keith Lee, Orlando Jordan, and Steven Regal defeat Brandon Watts, Brian Cage, and Brody Lee. All four of these guys are on 190 deals from CZW. In 6:34, and Steven Regal pinned Brian Cage with a running knee. Brody Lee 49, Brian Cage 18, Brandon Webb 29, Steven Regal 69, Orlando Jordan 50. Keith Lee got a 46, so they're doing really well. They got a nice 52. And then in the pre-show outside of Pro Wrestling Little Heat, Tara defeated Rosemary in 15:02 by pinfall. Rosemary 44, Tara 43 with the Widow's Peak. Rosemary's come back up for a one-night only deal. The call-ups, anyone who's down in developmental might come up on the big pay-per-views to perform, or on any of the pay-per-view pre-shows, but there will not be any call-ups until the start of the new year. So in January, I might call a few of the people up, depending on how well they're doing, because I'm keeping an eye on it. Bound for Glory, some amazing action planned, and we begin with the Ultimate X. So I've kind of took liberty with this opening angle, and you're going to have to bear with me, because I've gone and added something in, because we're going to be using a TV show. If you've never heard of it, it has sadly now finished. It was running for quite a while, and I will bring it up now. It started in 2010. It started at the end of September, and we're going to use that to advertise it for the channel that it was broadcast on. It was broadcasted on. So it was broadcast distributed by Warner Brothers. It was on the original ABC network. So we've got a bit of sponsoring for ABC here tonight. You'll see that in a minute. Bound for Glory. The biggest night of the year. This show has been building since Genesis, and tonight in front of a massive crowd, the biggest show and the longest show comes to you live on pay-per-view. Well, as we cut to the venue, we see a cry on this massive stage show. We spent the highest amount, about 1-3 something. And they sing the national anthem with the American flag behind them on the many screens. And when they're done, fireworks go off all around the venue. Then we cut to see some fans, and then on the front row we see the cast of the middle. And they're ringside, and on the bottom it says middle. You can watch this on ABC. We see Brick is reading a book, and this is looking like he don't want to be there. So he's just getting overexcited because on TV, and Frankie and Mike are holding a sign saying this was a prize. Then we cut to Jim, Tony, and Jerry. I just wanted to put that in because I love the middle. It's something I've always had the urge to do a series in 2010 where I can just go, I'm having the middle up from right on ringside, having the actors. Of course, if you want to go and watch middle, it's on Amazon Prime. Every series is on Amazon Prime. It's an amazing watch. Tonight, it's quite funny as well. 5 hours, if not longer, worth of wrestling. I think it's longer. And the stars are out here tonight to watch this show. 31,000 fans are here from all over the TNA wrestling family. And Tony's like, tonight's the biggest show in TNA history, and you can see the gravesite. And the camera goes to, before cutting back to show you the site, where AJ or Abyss will be buried tonight. And Joe's like, look, I've done WrestleManias, but Bound for Glory has something amazing planned. Something amazing about the heat here tonight. An action planned. And we begin with the Ultimate X. And I guess a nice 68C. And in a decent match, Jesus got a 65. In the Paul Lloyd Jr. defeat Austin Aries, Kota Ibushi, Jimmy Havoc, and Pac in 15-17 when Paul Lloyd Jr. retrieved the item. Paul Lloyd Jr. makes defense number 1 of the TNA X Division Champion title. I did tell him to steal the show. Paul Lloyd Jr. got 51. Kazarian got 57. Jimmy Havoc was the worst in the match with a 42. Kota Ibushi got a 66. Austin Aries got a 63. And Pac got a nice 70. Got a nice 65C. In about fantastic heat and decent wrestling, Sting defeated Hulk Hogan in 9:34 by people with the reverse DDT. Hulk Hogan got a 63, Sting got a 65, got a nice 66. And then we see the invasion in a bigger room than normal, and we see Regal getting ready to go out there. And Regal's like, TNA has decided that the one night only Japan Super Show is when the title will come. The Impact World title is coming and the TNA family has grown. We've got many companies want to be a part of this revolution. Now tonight my boys are going to bring this to a screeching halt next on Bound for Glory. I might be in a cage, but I got faith in my boys, hands down. Now will the boys, I don't know why Tyler Black and Zack Sabre Jr. is on screen. I don't know why they're not meant to be. So can Rob Terry, Doug Williams, Magnuson, Desmond Wolfe and Mikey Whiplash go out there tonight and retain their titles? We'll see. So in about these match crowds, Subpar Wrestling, Rob Terry defeats Zack Sabre Jr. in 7:48 by putting the running power slam. Rob Terry makes defense number 3 of the TNA Intercontinental title. Rob Terry 36, Zack Sabre Jr. 53. Got a nice 49. In a good match, Team 3D defeated the British Invasion in 14:38 when Brother Devon pinned Magnus with a 3D. Team 3D are now the TNA World Tag Team Champions. Brother Devon, Brother Ray 74, Brother Devon 69, Magnus 61, Doug Williams 69. I got a nice 77. That is how you pull off that show. Yep, 77. Nice tag match there. And in a decent match, Tyler Black defeated Desmond Wolfe in 14:52 by pinfall the Phoenix Splash. Tyler Black wins the TNA United States Championship title. Tyler Black 54, Desmond Wolfe 69. Got a nice 69C. Tyler Black is now the United States champion. So yeah, I'm taking some of the belts off the British Invasion because I'm going to give them some of the Impact belts we're bringing in. Because there's going to be a few Impact title belts coming in. So there's going to be the Impact World title and there's going to be a couple of others that I'm going to do in the group. And so I need a few people clear of titles to hold those. And one of them will be a 6-man tag title. And then in about a good heat and diesel wrestling, Mikey Whiplash defeated Mick Foley 11:57 by pinfall. Mikey Whiplash makes defense number 2 of the TNA Hardcore title. Mick Foley 57, Mikey Whiplash 57, got a nice 54. So out of the British Invasion section, I'm going to go straight into an amazing match. In about fantastic heat and great wrestling, Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi in 23:12 by pinfall with a running single leg high knee strike. Hiroshi Tanahashi 74, Shinsuke Nakamura got a 74, and they given us a 77 match. For a one-night-only appearance, which they will be at the one-night-only Japan show, I've also got deals with All Japan Pro Wrestling, so we're going to have quite a few Japanese stars. In about the great heat and decent wrestling, Nat and Nadine Hart defeated Bobby Blank in an Iron Man match in 30 minutes by 3 falls to 1. Nat and Nadine Hart makes defense number 4 of the TNA Knockouts title. Bobby Blank 47, Nat and Nadine Hart got a 71. 67. Yeah, wasn't as I knew it wasn't going to be too. I knew it was going to be a bad match, but at 67, I'm happier than I thought it was going to be with that one. And then after the match, Natty grabs the title and holds it up and holds it aloft. Then the music hits and Awesome Kong comes out. She comes out and she just decimates Natty. And then holds the belt aloft and then places it on Natty and just leaves the ring. Gets a nice 73. Obviously because Awesome Kong ain't on screen when she was meant to be. So yeah, Awesome Kong has now signified. And that is going to be the next feud. It'll be Natty Nadine versus Awesome Kong for the Knockouts title. I haven't hinted anything else. In about these match crowds, Subpar Wrestling, Brian Kendrick, Joey Ryan, Paul Robinson and Petey Williams defeat Adam Cole, Amazing Red and Seema and Al Generico, who is the owner of Real Japan Pro Wrestling, which was the other Dragon Gate promotion. I've changed it to Real Japan Pro Wrestling. Seema is the owner of that, and he is working for us as well as running that for us. So he, Paul Robinson pinned Adam Cole. Amazing Red sustained a major concussion. Oh dear. Petey Williams 43, Paul Robinson 51, Joe Ryan 50, Brian Kendrick 51, Al Generico 51, Seema 53, Amazing Red 49, and Adam Cole 44. Well, Amazing Red, be glad you got a major concussion, but be glad you got to wrestle in front of 31,000 fans. Yes, thank you. At least it wasn't because of a botch, which is good. In about a great heat and good wrestling, Mike Mizanin defeated Mr. Anderson in 15:28 by pin of the skull crushing finale. Mike Mizanin 68, Mr. Anderson 68. They got a nice 72. In about a great heat and good wrestling, Christian Cage defeated Monty Brown in 14:44 by pin of the kill switch. Christian Cage 69, Monty Brown got a 63. They got a beautiful 72. And in a superb match, Caristico defeated Ali Park in 9:39 by pinfall. Ali Park 74, Caristico 75. They got a nice 72. So that was a CMML exclusive match because Caristico signed with us before CMML became a part of the TNA family. Otherwise, I would have only signed into a handshake deal. At that point, and would have worked happily having him work between the companies. But yeah, we brought LA Park in for one night only to face him. Both babyfaces, big fan babyface match, and to be quite honest, a 72 from these two I was not expecting. I'm very happy with that match. You know, we've got a few exclusive people, and this did well as well in about a good heat and good wrestling. Samoa Joe defeated Psycho Clown in 8:30 by pinfall the Muscle Buster. Samoa Joe 82, Psycho Clown only got a 55, but they got 75, which is obviously Joe helped with. But yeah, well done Joe beating Psycho Clown. Another one of my favorite Mexican luchadors. Absolutely love Psycho Clown. And in a decent match, the Disciples of the New Church, Gunnar Crimson and Aphrion Jr. defeated Brian Danielson, Juice from the Liger and Rich Swann in 8:17 when Aphrion Jr. pinned Juice from the Liger with a flying headbutt. So this got a 61. This actually did quite well as well. Aphrion Jr. 43, Crimson 51, Gunnar 49, Rich Swann 49, Juice from the Liger 46, and Danielson 69. Beautiful match. Of course, I've only just introduced the Disciples in the New Church into the TNA Wrestling, so I wasn't going to miss out on putting them on a 31,000 sold out venue for Bound for Glory. They had to be on the main card, and they did quite well. And then in a bout of a good heat and decent wrestling, Beer Money defeated the Hardys in a Falls Count Anywhere match in 13:22, when Bobby Roode defeated Matt Hardy with a Fisherman Suplex. Matt Hardy got a 62, Jeff Hardy got a 74, Roode got a 54, Storm got a 60. Jeff Hardy carried the match in terms of ring performance, so I got a 70. Beautiful. And this did pretty well as well. And about fantastic heat and great wrestling, Dave Bautista defeated Glenn Jacobs in 15:30 when Glenn Jacobs could not beat the 10 count after a spine buster off of the stage through a load of tables at ringside. And that got an 80. That is absolutely bloody beautiful. This show is going really well. This got an 80 as well. In an exceptional match, The Rock defeated Rob Van Dam in 14:48 by pinning the Rock bottom. The Rock got an in-ring performance of 90:89, RVD 77. That got an 80, which is not bad. We then have a hype package telling you to go next, and your semi-main of the evening for Bound for Glory will be Kurt Angle taking on Brock Lesnar. And in an exceptional match, Kurt Angle defeated Brock Lesnar in 26-23 by pinfall the Angle Slam. Kurt Angle 87, Brock Lesnar 91. That got an 87, and I can see that's a blue, which means that was one of the best. I think that's going to be the best match of the night. But we head into our main event, ladies and gentlemen, and we've got JB. So I've been quiet tonight. We wanted to concentrate on the awesome action in that ring, which we have done. But AJ has asked for this time ahead of the world title match. And he's like, look, tonight on the biggest night in TNA wrestling, two TNA born and bred main event this show. Both me and Abyss have been here since NWA TNA 1. We have fought our way to the top. So you hypocrites that say TNA don't care about its homegrown talent, it is wrong. They could put Rock, Brock, David, anyone in the main event who would have drawed. But no, they put two people that were made. When the night is done, the world champion will be a TNA star born and bred TNA. But that will be me because I am the immortal champion. So he's doing a bit of a shoot interview, but he kind of goes back into character that end a bit though. It's like, you know, people have been criticising TNA wrestling for this show because of Rock and that. But he's going, well, hold on a minute. Biss and AJ have been here since day one and we're main eventing this joint. And in an exceptional match, it got 79. Oh, I thought this was going to do really bad. Abyss defeated AJ Styles in 45 minutes and 19 seconds when AJ Styles was buried alive. Abyss is your TNA World Heavyweight Champion. For anyone who did not know, I have been building Abyss to be the world champion since Genesis. Hence why I said I came into this save and I had the plan of AJ Styles holding the title till this night and Abyss beating him. Period. I had this planned. Abyss got an 81, AJ Styles got an 87, that got a nice 79, and we close off the show. After the match, Rock, David, James and Bobby bring out the old TNA belt and give it to Abyss. They chuck the immortal belt on the grave and bury it with AJ as fireworks and confetti fall down all around the venue, and that is how you close off the biggest night of the year for TNA wrestling, and I am so happy with that show. Do you want to continue if you would? And we got an 82. That is the best show we have done in this save. It increased our popularity across all 24 regions. TNA Wrestling. Would you like to continue anyway? No, let's do some post-match features. But you look at some of the matches on there. I knew this one. I thought this one was going to suck. I knew this one was here. This was a bit of a cool-down match, the same as this. But I didn't actually think that match, Carisco defeating LA Park, would be that good. But I am so happy with everyone. It's going to have to be Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, I'm afraid. And I'm also going to give it to AJ Styles because I am really impressed with everybody. Tonight, it was an amazing show. Kurt Angle seemed pleased. Brock was very pleased and AJ was very happy with your speech. Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Bound for Glory. I'm not going to stop here though, because this is episode 18, and I want to, because people are going to ask me about the TNA family. The TNA family is a way of us getting to Jeff Jarrett. So everybody who's been with Jeff Jarrett, there's a few companies that are staying loyal to the Global Force, and there's companies that have gone, no, we're not going to be loyal to Global Force, and have left. And those companies are what are in the group now. We've got All Japan Pro Wrestling, we've got New Japan Pro Wrestling, we've got Real Japan Pro Wrestling, what was known as Dragon Gate, but has been renamed. We've got IPW UK, ICW, CZW, Shimmer, we've got the only Australian company, 2 European, a few DDTs in there as well. There's quite a few companies. I think there's probably about 10, which might be a bit too many, but they're companies that I want to be able to work with, and they're companies that... my goal with TNA Wrestling is for it to be a company that's going to be on top of the globe, but at the same time helping out those smaller companies like CZW, and that we'll show you. There's short feedback has been nice and similar to a short Golders show. Sell out 82. Do you think I made a profit last month? But yeah, do you think I made a profit, or do you think I'm not? I dread to look because I haven't made a profit. We only lost 448, 66.7, which is not too bad. And we got the Supercard in 11 days, which I will be doing stuff for. But here's the Alliance. So in the Alliance, nope. We've got All Japan, Alpha 1, Capital City Championship Combat Zone Wrestling, CMML, and DDT. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So DDT, Elite County Championship Wrestling, Fight Club Pro, and German Wrestling Federation. That's 10. Instate Championship International, Lucha Libre, New Japan Pro Wrestling Australia, Pro Wrestling 01. Real Japan Pro Wrestling, Snady Girls, Simmer, and Westside, and World Wanderers Stardom. So all these companies are in the group, and they're all going to have titles. I haven't set up the titles yet. That will be done. But they are going to be the Impact Wrestling titles, what you will see in the new series. If you've been watching my channel this week, you would have seen 3 episodes that come up. Starting off next week, you're going to have 2 episodes of TNA Wrestling 2010 and 1 episode a week of the Impact Wrestling series. So join us, because this is now a journey, and we are now on the other side of Bound for Glory. But believe you me, I've got plans for the next year, and I'm going to make the announcement now. AJ Styles will not be on screen for the next 6 months. He spent so many years with TNA. He's going to be given 6 months off. Now, the reason for this is I want to kind of make I don't want him coming out tonight on TNA going, right, I'm going to be here tonight. I don't want him coming out and going, after being buried alive, he can't be on the show. So that's why he's going to be written off. I'm going to get on with the next episode today so that we can continue. I've got to change all the stories and stuff, so there's a lot of things I've got to do. But TNA Wrestling was an epic show. We're now going to be building up towards One Night Only Super Show Japan, but we're also going to be looking beyond that at the pay-per-views we've got coming up, because the big 4, as you know, are Lockdown, Summerversary, Bound for Glory, Final Revolutions. So we're going to be building up to Final Revolutions, the end of the year, the New Year's Eve party for TNA Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed Bound for Glory as much as I did, and we'll see you, because this journey is not over.